the lights go out, the arena explodes. And suddenly, after months of silence, after months of questions, after months of wondering who the hell was responsible for one of the most brutal backstage attacks in WWE history, the Samoan werewolf is back. Jacob Fatu, the most dangerous man to ever step foot in WWE, has returned to Smackdown, and he didn't come alone. The Samoan SWAT team is here, and they're about to turn the entire wrestling world upside down. Blood, teeth, metal towers, mystery attackers, and now revenge. This is the story of how Jacob Fatu rose from the wreckage, brought his brothers into battle, and declared war on everyone who thought he was finished. If you think you know what's coming, you're wrong. Because what happened on SmackDown wasn't just a return. It was a reckoning. Listen, right now, you need to understand something. What we're about to break down isn't just another wrestling segment. This is the kind of moment that changes everything. This is the kind of return that sends shockwaves through the entire industry. And if you care about Jacob Fatu, if you care about the Bloodline saga, if you care about the future of WWE, you cannot afford to miss a single second of this video. So do me a favor right now. Before we dive into the absolute chaos that unfolded, hit that subscribe button. Join the SLAMZONE family. Because we're about to witness history together, and I want you here for every explosive moment. Trust me, you're going to want to be part of this. October 17th, 2025. That's the date that changed everything for Jacob Fatu. That's the night the Samoan werewolf was supposed to face Drew McIntyre in a #1 contenders match for the undisputed WWE Championship. That's the night Jacob Fatu was going to prove once and for all that he belonged at the very top of this business. But he never made it to the ring. His music hit. The crowd erupted. And then, nothing. Just silence. Just confusion. And then the cameras cut backstage, and what we saw was nothing short of horrifying. Jacob Fatu was lying motionless under a massive metal tower, blood pouring from his mouth. Teeth scattered on the concrete floor like broken pieces of his shattered dreams. His body twisted and broken, the victim of a vicious, calculated assault. Nick Aldis rushed to the scene. Medical personnel swarmed around him, and the entire WWE universe held its breath, wondering if we had just witnessed the end of Jacob Fatu's career before it ever truly began. Who did this? Why would someone target the Samoan werewolf? Was it Drew McIntyre, desperate to avoid facing a man who could destroy him? Was it Cody Rhodes, protecting his championship from a legitimate threat? Or was it someone else entirely, someone with a personal vendetta against the most dangerous member of the bloodline? For weeks, we got nothing. No answers. No updates. No Jacob Fatu. The mystery lingered like a dark cloud over SmackDown. Drew McIntyre denied any involvement, claiming he had nothing to do with the attack. But the fans didn't believe him. The internet exploded with theories, speculation, and conspiracy. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone had a suspect. But nobody had proof. And as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, it seemed like Jacob Fatu might never return. Reports surfaced that he was dealing with a legitimate dental injury, that he had undergone major surgery, that he might be out of action for an extended period of time. WWE wrote him off television, and the Samoan werewolf disappeared into the shadows. But here's the thing about Jacob Fatu. Here's the thing about a man who has overcome every obstacle, every setback, every hardship life has thrown at him. He doesn't stay down. He doesn't quit. And he sure as hell doesn't forget. Jacob Fatu grew up in one of the most legendary wrestling families in history, the Anoa'i dynasty. He's the son of Tama, the nephew of Rikishi, the cousin of The Rock, Roman Reigns, and the Usos. Wrestling isn't just in his blood, it's his destiny. But Jacob's journey hasn't been easy. At 18 years old, he was arrested for robbery and faced a future that could have destroyed him. But instead of giving up, instead of letting his mistakes define him, he turned his life around. He watched his cousins succeed in WWE and used that as motivation to become something special. And he did. For years, Jacob Fatu dominated the independent wrestling scene. He became a legend in Major League Wrestling, holding the MLW World Heavyweight Championship for a record-breaking 819 days. He moved like a cruiserweight despite weighing 270 pounds. He flew through the air with moonsaults that defied physics. He hit harder than anyone in the business. And when WWE finally came calling in 2024, Jacob Fatu arrived on SmackDown and immediately established himself as the most dangerous man in the company. He joined the bloodline under Solo Sikoa's leadership and went on an undefeated streak that made him look absolutely unstoppable. He captured the WWE Tag Team Championship alongside Tama Tonga, proving he could dominate in any situation. He won the United States Championship at WrestleMania 41, defeating LA Knight in front of the biggest audience of the year. And then, just when it seemed like Jacob Fatu was about to reach the pinnacle of his career, just when it seemed like he was destined to challenge for the WWE Championship, he was taken out, attacked, brutalized, left for dead under a metal tower with his teeth on the floor and his career hanging in the balance. But the Samoan werewolf survived. He healed. And he waited. He waited for the perfect moment to strike back. And when that moment came, when Jacob Fatu finally returned to SmackDown, the entire wrestling world stopped to watch. Because this wasn't just a return. This was a statement. This was a declaration of war. And Jacob Fatu brought reinforcements. The Samoan SWAT team. A name that sends chills down the spine of anyone who knows wrestling history. The original Samoan SWAT team consisted of Samoan Fatu, managed by Paul Heyman in the early 90s. They were ruthless, dominant, and feared by every tag team in the business. They battled the Steiner brothers, the Von Erichs, and the fabulous Freebirds, leaving destruction in their wake. And now, the next generation has arrived. Jacob Fatu, the leader and enforcer. Journey Fatu, his younger brother, a rising star on the independent circuit with incredible potential. And Zilla Fatu, another member of the legendary Anoa'i family, a powerhouse who has been making waves in promotions like Reality of Wrestling and has even teased an appearance in NXT. Together, they represent the future of the Anoa'i dynasty. Together, they represent a force that cannot be stopped. And together, they return to Smackdown with one goal in mind: revenge, destruction, and the complete annihilation of anyone who stands in their way. You could feel the electricity in the arena the moment Jacob Fatu's music hit. The crowd erupted in a deafening roar, a mixture of shock, excitement, and pure adrenaline. Because nobody expected this. Nobody saw it coming. And when Jacob Fatu walked down that ramp, flanked by Journey and Zilla, the entire WWE universe knew that SmackDown would never be the same again. Before we go any further, I need to pause for just a moment. If you're feeling this emotion right now, if you're as hyped as I am about Jacob Fatu's return, I need you to do something for me. Hit that like button. Share this video with every wrestling fan you know. Comment below and tell me what you think about the Samoan SWAT team coming to WWE. Because this is bigger than just one return. This is a movement. This is the beginning of something legendary. And I want you here for every single moment. Subscribe to SLAMZONE, turn on those notifications, and let's ride this wave together. Now, let's talk about what makes Jacob Fatu's return so significant. First, there's the mystery of who attacked him. For months, fans have speculated about the identity of the assailant. Drew McIntyre has been the prime suspect, given that he had the most to gain from Fatu being taken out. If Jacob Fatu couldn't compete, Drew would get a free pass to challenge for the WWE Championship. But McIntyre has vehemently denied any involvement, and there's no concrete evidence linking him to the attack. Some fans believe it could have been Cody Rhodes himself. The American Nightmare might have orchestrated the assault to protect his title from a legitimate threat. After all, Cody has proven time and time again that he's willing to do whatever it takes to stay on top. But again, there's no proof. And then there's the possibility that it was someone from Jacob Fatu's past. Someone with a personal vendetta. Someone from the bloodline, perhaps. Solo Sikoa, the man Jacob betrayed when he turned babyface earlier in the year, could have been behind it. JC Mateo, Tonga Loa, Talatanga, any of them could have attacked Jacob Fatu as payback for leaving the bloodline and costing Solo the United States Championship. The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes this storyline so compelling. Every week, we're going to get closer to the truth. Every week, Jacob Fatu is going to hunt down the person responsible. And when he finally finds them, when he finally gets his hands on the coward who attacked him from behind, it's going to be brutal. But beyond the mystery, beyond the revenge storyline, what makes Jacob Fatu's return so important is what it represents for the future of WWE. Jacob Fatu is only 33 years old. He has decades of wrestling left in him, and with the Samoan SWAT team by his side, he has the potential to dominate WWE for years to come. Journey Fatu and Zilla Fatu are young, hungry, and incredibly talented. Having them debut alongside Jacob instantly elevates them to main event status. They're not coming in as rookies trying to prove themselves. They're coming in as members of the legendary Anoa'i family, backed by one of the most dangerous men in WWE. That kind of presentation, that kind of credibility, is priceless. And let's talk about the impact this could have on SmackDown as a whole. The Blue brand has been struggling with star power in recent months. Randy Orton has been absent. John Cena is on his farewell tour and only appears sporadically. Roman Reigns is focused on his role as tribal chief and has limited appearances. SmackDown needs new blood. SmackDown needs fresh storylines. And the Samoan SWAT team provides exactly that. Imagine Jacob Fatu, Journey Fatu, and Zilla Fatu running roughshod over the entire roster. Imagine them challenging for the Tag Team Championships, the United States Championship, even the WWE Championship. Imagine the feuds they could have with the Street Profits, DIY, Pretty Deadly, or even the Bloodline itself. The storytelling possibilities are endless. And that's not even considering the potential character shift for Jacob Fatu. Recent reports have suggested that WWE Creative has been discussing whether Jacob Fatu should return as a babyface or as a heel. When he left television in October, he was a fan favorite. He had turned on Solo Sikoa at Money in the Bank, leaving the bloodline and becoming one of the most popular stars on SmackDown. But now, after being brutally attacked and left for dead, after being forced to undergo major dental surgery and miss months of action, Jacob Fatu could return with a completely different mindset. He could return angry, bitter, and willing to destroy anyone in his path, regardless of whether they're a babyface or a heel. That kind of unpredictability, that kind of edge, is what made Stone Cold Steve Austin one of the greatest stars in WWE history. And Jacob Fatu has the same potential. He's not a traditional hero. He's not a clean-cut babyface who plays by the rules. He's a savage. He's a werewolf. He's a man who will do whatever it takes to survive, to succeed, and to get revenge. And with the Samoan SWAT team backing him up, he's more dangerous than ever. You can already see how this is going to play out. Jacob Fatu is going to tear through Smackdown like a man possessed. He's going to demand answers. He's going to confront every suspect. And he's going to leave a trail of broken bodies in his wake. And when he finally discovers the truth, when he finally uncovers the identity of his attacker, the confrontation is going to be explosive. Whether it's Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, Solo Sikoa, or someone else entirely, the payoff is going to be worth the wait. Because Jacob Fatu doesn't just want revenge. He wants blood. He wants justice. And he wants the entire WWE universe to witness his retribution. This is the kind of storytelling that makes WWE must-see television. This is the kind of return that reminds us why we fell in love with professional wrestling in the first place. Because it's not just about the matches. It's about the drama. It's about the emotion. It's about the journey from darkness to redemption, from defeat to triumph, from victim to warrior. And Jacob Fatu is on that journey right now. He's clawing his way back from the brink, bringing his family with him, and preparing to unleash hell on everyone who doubted him, everyone who wrote him off, and everyone who thought they could break him. The Samoan SWAT team is here. The Samoan werewolf is back. And Smackdown will never be the same. Now, let's talk about what happens next. Jacob Fatu's return sets up several major storylines heading into WrestleMania season. First, there's the obvious continuation of his hunt for his attacker. This storyline has been building for months, and it's not going to be resolved quickly. WWE is going to milk this mystery for all it's worth, giving us clues, red herrings, and shocking twists along the way. Second, there's the potential feud between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. Even if Drew didn't attack Jacob, the fact remains that Drew benefited from Jacob's absence. Drew got his shot at Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. Drew has been positioned as one of the top stars on SmackDown. And now that Jacob is back, he's going to want what's rightfully his. He's going to want his opportunity to challenge for the title. And if Drew stands in his way, Jacob is going to go through him. The physicality of that match, the intensity, the brutality, would be off the charts. Both men are hard-hitting, athletic, and willing to put their bodies on the line. A Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre match could easily be one of the best matches of the year. Third, there's the dynamic between Jacob Fatu and the Bloodline. Jacob turned on Solo Sikoa earlier this year, leaving the Bloodline and costing Solo the United States Championship. But now, with the Samoan SWAT team by his side, Jacob has his own faction. He's not just a lone wolf anymore. He's a leader. He's the head of a new dynasty. And that puts him on a collision course with Solo Sikoa's version of the Bloodline. Imagine the 6-man tag team matches. Imagine the chaos. Imagine Jacob Fatu, Journey Fatu, and Zilla Fatu going to war with Solo Sikoa, JC Mateo, Tonga Loa, and Talatonga. That kind of all-out brawl, that kind of family warfare, is what makes wrestling great. And finally, there's the possibility of Jacob Fatu challenging for the WWE Championship. He was supposed to get his shot back in October before he was attacked. Now that he's back, now that he's healthy, and now that he has the Samoan SWAT team behind him, there's no reason why Jacob Fatu shouldn't be in the main event picture. Whether it's against Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, or whoever holds the title, Jacob Fatu versus the WWE Champion would be a marquee match. It would be a dream match. It would be the kind of match that defines WrestleMania. And with WWE reportedly planning a big push for Jacob Fatu in 2026, it's entirely possible that we could see the Samoan werewolf with the biggest prize in the business by the end of the year. The emotion of this moment, the significance of this return, cannot be overstated. Jacob Fatu has overcome so much in his life. He's battled personal demons, legal troubles, and the stigma of being labeled a risk by WWE for years. He's fought his way through the independent scene, dominated MLW, and finally earned his spot in WWE. And just when he was on the verge of reaching the absolute pinnacle of his career, he was taken out. He was attacked. He was left broken and bloodied. But he refused to stay down. He refused to give up. And he came back stronger, more dangerous, and more determined than ever. That's the story of Jacob Fatu. That's the story of the Samoan SWAT team. And that's the story that's going to unfold over the next several months on SmackDown. You can feel the energy building. You can sense the anticipation. You can practically taste the violence that's about to be unleashed. And if you're not watching, if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss out on one of the most compelling storylines in WWE today. So here's what I need you to do. Subscribe to SLAMZONE right now. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a single breakdown, analysis, or update on Jacob Fatu and the Samoan SWAT team. Share this video with your friends who love wrestling. Comment below and tell me who you think attacked Jacob Fatu back in October. Is it Drew McIntyre? Is it Cody Rhodes? Is it Solo Sikoa? Or is it someone else entirely? I want to hear your theories. I want to hear your predictions. Because we're in this together, and we're going to follow this story every step of the way. The return of Jacob Fatu isn't just a feel-good moment. It's not just a cool surprise for the fans. It's the beginning of a new era on SmackDown. It's the rise of the Samoan SWAT team. It's the continuation of the legendary Anoa'i dynasty. And it's a reminder that in professional wrestling, the best stories are the ones rooted in real emotion, real struggle, and real triumph. Jacob Fatu was counted out. He was written off. He was forgotten. But he clawed his way back. He brought his brothers with him. And now, he's ready to reclaim his spot at the top of WWE. This is where legends are made. This is where dreams come true. This is where the Samoan werewolf becomes a main event star. And this is where the Samoan SWAT team writes their names in the history books alongside the greatest factions of all time. The road ahead is going to be brutal. It's going to be violent. It's going to be unpredictable. But that's what makes it so exciting. That's what makes it so compelling. And that's why you need to be watching every single week. Because Jacob Fatu's journey is far from over. In fact, it's just beginning. And with the Samoan SWAT team by his side, there's no limit to what he can achieve. So buckle up, get ready, and prepare yourself for the most intense, most emotional, most explosive storyline on Smackdown. The Samoan werewolf is back. The Samoan SWAT team is here. And the hunt for revenge has officially begun. Thank you for watching SLAMZONE. Thank you for being part of this journey. And thank you for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this breakdown, if you're as hyped as I am about Jacob Fatu's return, show some love. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And drop a comment below with your thoughts. Let's build this community together. Let's celebrate the greatest moments in wrestling together. And let's never forget that when Jacob Fatu steps into that ring, when the Samoan SWAT team stands united, magic happens. This is SLAMZONE, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay locked in, stay hyped, and never stop believing in the power of professional wrestling.